You are listening to part 7 of the podcast series, 21 Qualities of a Leader.
Quality number 7. Discernment. Great leaders have the quality of discernment in them, and I want to say this in the beginning of this part. Of everything I'm going to teach you today on qualities, this is the hardest one to teach. Because it's very difficult to help people get a handle on discernment or intuition. It's very subjective, but it's also very essential. So I'm going to do my best shot. In your notes, smart leaders believe only half of what they hear. Discerning leaders know which half to believe. And this is a difficult subject to teach. It's a difficult subject to learn. And I want to say this. A lot of times, good leaders lack discernment. But your goal is not the fact that you're not going to miss it sometimes. Your goal is to minimize the damage. So how do you and I develop discernment? Since it's hard to teach, let me see if I can teach it. Let's see if you can grab it. Number 1, stay in your strength zone. Now, we've already talked about that, but I got to come back to it again, because one of the reasons you want to stay in your strength zone is it not only helps you to become more competent, but let me tell you something. You are discerning in the area of your giftedness. The most important thing I can tell you about intuition, the most important thing I can tell you about discernment is this. In the area of your giftedness, you are discerning, and if you're not gifted in an area, you lack discernment. Intuition always follows giftedness. Let me explain. I just naturally have an inward compass. I just don't get lost. I'm just good with directions. I sense. I don't know how to explain this, except I know. I know north, south, east to west, and I just kind of know how to get there, and I land right. I just do. My wife has no gift. She has no inner compass. She called me one day. I was at the house, and she said, "John, I'm lost." I said, "Where are you?" She said, "Well, I'm down in Buckhead." And she said, she said, "Answer this question." She said, "Am I going north, south, east, or west?" Well, I said, "Margaret, I'm not in the car. It is a drawback. But let me see if I can help you," because it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, "Look out the car window. Where's the sun?" She said, "Oh, the sun's on the passenger side." I said, "You're going south." "How do you know this?" "John, you're not in the car. How do you know I'm going?" In fact, I said, "Margaret, do a U-turn. You're going the wrong way. Just do a U-turn. Come exactly opposite," which is what I've taught her all the years. I tell her when she gets off an elevator, if she wants to go right, always go left and she'll have it. In fact, I tell her, just go opposite of what you think and you're going to get it every time. Because your compass is not only not inside, but it is a messed up compass. It's a backward compass. I've just never seen anything right. If she has 10 decisions to make on compassing, all 10 of them are wrong. Now, I'm laughing at her, but let me tell you something. In the area of her giftedness, she's incredible. I've been telling you, she loves moving, and she loves getting to a house. She loves decorating. She's fabulous with colors. And I'm worthless. Now, what am I saying? It's very simple. Discernment is always in the area of your strength. If you're good at it, you're discerning. If you're not good at it, you're not discerning. So stay in your strength zone if you want to develop your discernment. Number 2, evaluate each experience. We've all heard that experience is the best teacher. I'm here to tell you it's not the best teacher. Evaluated experience is the best teacher. Just because you've had experience doesn't mean that you're better at it. It's like a pastor friend of mine that wasn't really a successful pastor, and he'd been in the ministry for 20 years, and he came to me one time and said, "John," he said, "I had 20 years of experience." I said, "No, you haven't, Bob." He said, "What do you mean I haven't?" He said, "I'm in my 20th year." I said, No, you haven't had 20 years of experience." I said, "You've had 1 year of experience 20 times. He didn't evaluate his experience. It's out of evaluated experience that you really learn. One of the things I practice every evening, practiced it last night, I'll practice it tonight, every evening of my life, I take, not a long time, maximum 15 minutes, sometimes only 5 minutes. But every evening, I do reflective thinking. Every evening, I get by myself, usually right before I go to bed. And I just reflect on my day, and I ask, who have I seen, and what have I done, and what have I accomplished, and have I helped anybody? And if I did help somebody, who did I help? And I go through reflective thinking. In my book, Thinking for a Change, I do a whole chapter on reflective thinking. Why do I talk about that so much? Because reflective thinking turns experience into insight. When I reflect on what I have done, that's when I begin to have insight and discernment about what's happening to me. So not only stay in your strength zone, but evaluate every experience. Number 3, support discernment with information. Stay on your notes with me, please. Information without discernment equals missed opportunities. And, let me go on, discernment without information equals missed decisions. Never ignore a gut feeling, but never believe that it is enough. You see the balance that I'm talking about? In your notes, leaders of large organizations must cope with the tremendous chaos of complexity every day. They are never able to gather enough information to get a complete picture of just about anything. As a result, they have to rely on discernment. Researcher Henry Mitzberg of McGill University stated, here's an important statement. Organizational effectiveness does not lie in that narrow-minded concept called rationality. It lies in the blend of clear-headed logic and powerful intuition. Discernment enables a leader to see a partial picture, fill in the missing pieces intuitively, and find the real heart of the matter. One more thing. Test your gut feeling with experienced, successful people. I have found this to be huge in my life. In other words, what I'm saying to you is when you have a gut feeling about something, we've already learned, don't just rely on the gut feeling, but go to somebody that's successful in the area that you're thinking about. Remember, that's in the strength zone for them. It may not be your strength zone, and bounce it off of them. But learn to support yourself with people that are in their strength zones so you can match your intuition, discernment, and gut feeling with those strength zones. You see, the greatest value of discernment, it gives you a head start. People that are discerning and people that are intuitive, they get started before anyone else. And that's key.